So here's one thing that stops a lot of us from taking action, and that is the feeling of overwhelm. And what happens is that when we feel overwhelmed, so what do? We'll just put our guards up and we feel defensive and we just don't do anything at all because we feel like, oh my God, I gotta do all this stuff. And if you just can't think through it and be like, all right, how can you actually achieve all of those? Then you start feeling overwhelmed, and then you just end up doing nothing, right? Essentially, like, yeah, you got all the, it's like the worst thing could happen is that you got the piled up amount of task and work or whatever it is that you're supposed to do that you've been thinking about, and then yet you feel overwhelmed and then you did nothing. So what really causes this is that this constant input of information that is going in your head, it just your head, your mind, let's say, doesn't really have a easy way to categorize it and see like, all right, where does this go, where does that go? So it's just taking it in all day long as things happen, as things fall in your plate, and then that just creates a feeling of overwhelm. So there are three ways to really go around it, or three steps I would say that you can take to kind of get through that. And the very first thing you want to do is that the moment you have that many things in your head going on, like, oh my God, I got to work on all this stuff, is like just do a brain dump. So just sit down, pen and paper, old school, and just writing everything that has been in your head. Like from all the things you gotta do to all the things you do want to do, and then just dump it. There's everything that comes to your head. Doesn't really matter if it's something that you think you should do today or if it's something that you gotta do 6 months from now. As long as it's in your head, it needs to get on the paper. Once it's on the paper, step number 2, you just have to look at it, obviously. So you're like, all right, I got all of these things. Now you need a way to mark things so that you can potentially prioritize them. So because obviously if you're feeling overwhelmed and then you're looking at a list of a lot of things to do, that by itself could also generate a feeling of overwhelm. So then what you want to do is you want to start looking into what's urgent, what's important. I mean, that's its own topic of how to go around prioritization. I'll probably do another video talking about that, but for now, at least just mark what's urgent and what's important, look at them, and then try to start moving things up, right? So get to a level where you can group things, right? So if you can batch things that needs to happen, if they're like, and then find things around batching. So if maybe there are things that you can do in the same location, maybe there are things that can be done at the same time. So find something that you can do as a way to batch things, so you can group things. So now you go from a list of a lot of things that you got to do to a group of things that you can do, and then finally you need an action plan for getting them done, right? So once you batch them and you know what you need to do, then maybe just decide, you know what, Friday is the day I'm gonna do all of my finance stuff, call it Finance Friday. Maybe on Monday I'm gonna do all of my marketing activity, whatever it is that the case might be. If it doesn't, even if it's not work related, if it's relationship related, if it's related to a fun project you're working on, it's just, as long as you got things to do, needs to come on the paper, needs to be grouped and batched together based on a way that you can actually get them done. And then you need an action plan so that you know exactly when they're going to get done. So you do these 3 things, then you shouldn't feel overwhelmed, because now you have a plan that everything is going to get done. So there's no longer a need to stress about it. You already know. So then you start focusing on the stuff that you said you were going to do today or tomorrow, which is right in front of you. And as your brain starts remembering other things, you just remind yourself, no worries, I got a plan for it. I know that's happening on Friday, or I know that's happening next week, so there's no reason for me to even think about it. And then when that day comes, when you're gonna get that group of tasks done, then you just put yourself in that mindset and then you get them done. And if it's any other time that it comes up, you just kind of just remind yourself that, no, I'm not gonna think about that now because I have a plan. What happens is, because we don't have the plan, normally we get overwhelmed because we don't know when that task is going to get done. But the moment you plan that, it's going to be done X days and it's in your calendar, hopefully, then there's no reason for you to feel overwhelmed. So I hope you find this video useful and you can apply these tips to some of the stuff that you're working on. If you're feeling overwhelmed around the topic or an area of your life where a lot of things needs to happen, I hope you can use this 3-step framework to get through it and kind of overcome that feeling of overwhelm. And if you enjoy videos like this or this type of content, make sure you subscribe to my channel. My name is Pedram, and let's fulfill your potential. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.